Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Welcome back to my weekly live guidance training video, which is called Get Your Shit Together Weekly Live Guidance with Yana Kasperczak. And as a certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach, it has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from that mental prison you find yourself in and build a business and a life that you're not only proud of but excited to wake up to every single day, and stop your self-sabotage, stop the procrastination, stop um, worrying too much, stop stressing out too much, and really get your mindset to a place where you feel whole, you feel fulfilled, you feel happiness and joy. And that's why I really truly appreciate each and every one of you sharing and having conversations with me, and also posting and letting me and my team know what help are you looking for? What are your core needs and desires? What are your biggest pain points and struggles to help me bring much more valuable content for each and every one of you. So today's video, today's podcast, I wanted to talk about mastering emotions and give you some tips for empaths to stay happy and unbothered. And the reason for that is because I once, just like all of you, was a very sensitive person where I would find myself getting upset over what now I realize were like the littlest things ever, but back then they weren't so little. They felt like rejection. They felt like I wasn't being seen, I wasn't being heard, and that nobody cared, that I didn't matter, that why bother, that no matter what I do or what I say, things are not gonna go my way, and I'm not gonna feel happy or be happy. And I was full of self-sacrifice. And I would love to hear from each and every one of you who's watching to this video or listening to this podcast, maybe perhaps on a different platform outside of our Facebook group where I do these live videos every week. And the group's name, just in case you're listening somewhere else, is Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. So if you are interested in checking out this community and see if this is the right place and a tribe for you that you have been looking for, come and check it out. And if it doesn't feel right, by all means, please keep going and looking for a place you can call home. It makes a massive, massive difference and tremendous uh, support fortress when you have a community that is focused on individual growth and evolution, which is shared communally in this community, such as this one. So please let me know if what I just said resonates with you. If you have experienced being in that state or living in that state, or perhaps you still are, because not only does it really indicate that you are an empath, it also speaks of your nurturer and caregiver side, which is referred to as a core energy coach. One of the things that I have learned and I implement into all of my coachings is the energy levels. This energy level is level 4 and level 1, the yo-yo between the two. And this is where you find yourself feeling like things are happening to you. Nobody sees me, nobody gets me. When am I gonna, you know, get my help on my turn? When will things turn around and I finally will be rewarded for all of my hard work and self-sacrifice? And that is level one. And then the answer to that is when you have had enough. When you put your foot down and you say to the universe, but the way that you would speak to the universe is through your experiences and through the interactions with people and things. Where if somebody comes to you and asks you for help, and your default program is to help, to say yes, even though that means you're not gonna do all the things that you put on your to-do list for you today, even though that means perhaps you're not gonna get out and enjoy the outdoors, even though it means that you're not gonna have that time to take a bath for yourself because you're sacrificing your own time and yourself to help someone else as unconsciously as your default program. And then you find yourself feeling unseen, uncared for, unloved, unappreciated or underappreciated, and you go into the level 3 where you rationalize and you try to make sense of it for you to make it feel okay and normal within you. But the reality is then from that you're going to go back to giving and giving and giving, and then from that point you're going to go back to level 1 and you will feel the victim, and you massive energy drain between these jumps between you being in level 4 and helping and taking care of everything and everyone and not yourself. And then you feel drained and tired and exhausted because you haven't taken care of yourself in the ways that you need and want, most importantly. And then the program kicks in of I'm not even worthy of taking care of myself in those ways because this is more important, or that is more important, or this person is more important, or that person's needs, wants, and desires are more important, especially for those of you who are moms. And that's more important, and that's more important. But here's the reality, especially those of you who have children, or those that you are caring for around you. You're programming them to be that same way. And if you just pause for a second and think, especially when you have children, if your child was living the exact life that you are living, how would that make you feel? Really, just think about it for a moment. If your child was living the exact same life that you are living right now, how would that make you feel? In identifying how that would make you feel, it also allows you the space to start to identify what can you do about it today? What can you do about it tomorrow? Essentially to set some plan in motion and take yourself outside of yourself and see things for what they are. We don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. We don't experience the world as it is, we experience the world as we are. And when we start to understand this universal truth, meaning that the world that we see outside of ourselves doesn't exist. It only exists within ourselves, because the same exact world, someone else sees it in a different way and they experience it in a different way, which means that they're seeing a different world because they have different perspectives, they have different perceptions, they have different interpretations, they have different assumptions, they have different limiting beliefs, they have different stories that they're carrying within themselves, they have a different mindset. And that's not to say that the way that they view in the world is better, but there are many people who view that same world in a way that they love it. And they attract good things into their life because everything is about the frequency and the vibration. It's not just the thoughts and the words, it's the energy. And as a core energy coach, not only did I learn that, I've experienced this myself, and I continue to experience that to this day, every single day, where by shifting my energy and aligning my energy, and that means not just the thoughts and the words, most importantly, it means the feelings and the emotions, aligning with those that are the ones that I actually want. I have more things coming to my world that align with how I feel, because my frequency has changed, and it continues to change and evolve as I continue to change and evolve. Do I experience challenges? Of course I do. I am a human being. We all experience challenges. Do I experience fear and doubt and worries? Of course. They're just not the same as they once were. They're different. They've been replaced with other fears, other worries, other doubts, but no longer those ones that held me hostage. And these ones don't hold me hostage anymore either, because I don't give them the space within this body, within this house, because everything that stays here pays rent, and those are the ones that are not going to be paying rent because they're cheap and they don't want to pay rent. So why should I allow them to stay within me? Only those that add value, that pay me, that reward me, stay within me. So let's talk a little bit about what can you do that will help you to master your emotions. And I'll share the tips for empaths, for you, for sensitive women, to stay happy and unbothered. So the first thing I want to cover is setting boundaries. Learn to say no and set clear boundaries from a place of love is going to be an essential, not only practice, but a habit. And on top of that, a personality trait. This is what I'm actually trying to get everyone that I talk with and coach to understand, that in order for you to not be controlled by doubt, fears, worries, anxieties, and everything that is holding you hostage, you need to become a different person, which means your personality, your traits, your values, your desires need to be in alignment with the who you envision yourself becoming, that is living the life that you're desiring. Each and every one of us has a way of knowing who we want to be. For some of you, you're more of a visual person. There's a vision that you see of who you are and what kind of life you're living. For others, it might be your feeling. You can't see it clearly, but there's that internal knowing, the feeling of who you are meant to be and that you're working towards becoming. So, and I'd love to hear which one you are. Do you see it clearly, or is it more of a feeling of who you want to be? And in order for you to become and live that reality, even though unconsciously all of us have this program of I'll be happy when, that I will be happy when I have this, when I do that, when I have this, when I have that. And we want to wake up to our life already having been changed and living in that way. But that is not a reality for anyone. even though it might appear like that for some people. Some of you might have, let's say, had a friend who you haven't spoken to in a while, maybe a few months, maybe a few years, and now you have gotten back together and you're talking and you're chit-chatting and you're reacquainting yourself, and you notice that they are at a different frequency, a different vibration, and their life has seemingly transformed overnight. And to you, it might appear that way, but you were not there in that absence. And in that absence of the months or the years, they have done work. They have changed things in their life every single day, little by little. And the compounding effect takes place where they become a different person. If, let's say, you want to become a person that sets very clear boundaries from a place of love, you're not going to become that person overnight, but you will become that person overnight to someone else that hasn't seen you or have experienced your growth and watched and observed your growth over the months or the years. And then all of a sudden, you're this new confident person who says no without hesitation and from a place of love, who speaks her mind and speaks up and sets clear boundaries and says, we're not doing that, or let's do it in this way, or however you set the boundary. And that person that is your friend sees a brand new person, and they see the end result, but they're not there to see the growth, to really understand how challenging it feels initially to change and how painful it might feel emotionally. But they see the end result and they think, oh, this is what I want. But no one wakes up that way. And even if they did, they wouldn't know how to keep it. I want you to think, go back in your past and reflect on the moments of your life, because all of us have had these moments in our life when we, let's say, woke up in the morning and felt like we're completely changed and a different person. And it only lasted one day. And then you went back to your old self. Now, when you think of that, you might also remember how disappointed you felt the day after and the day after and the day after, wishing and praying to go back to that person. But that was kind of like a taste that was given to you, what's possible. But in order for you to get there, you got to do the work. You've experienced it. You open up a window to see what it's like, but you weren't able to keep it because you did not become the person that you need to become in order for you to have that life. You didn't open the door to the house, didn't walk in. You just looked through the window, called that one day or a few hours, however long it lasted for you, where everything just felt perfect. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because now that gives you a window to see what you want from yourself and from your life and what it's like. And not to beat yourself up, not to feel bad about it, because it's a very normal process for those who are waking up and connecting with their true authentic self and working towards becoming the best version of themselves. It's to remind you of spend more time in that window, get familiar with it, get comfortable with it, understand what it is that you wanted, that you experienced, and put the things that you need to put in place in order for you to get there. And once you get there, you will be living that way. Okay, so the first tip is the boundaries. The purpose of setting the boundaries is to protect your energy and limit the exposure of people and situations that are draining to you. If you find yourself in a place where you are highly sensitive right now, or have been for a while, because this is the journey of all empaths that are awakening and finding their true potential and their purpose and what fulfills them. You want to spend the time to identify your drains. What is draining you? Make that list and start eliminating those from your life. You want to protect yourself. Now, the next thing you want to do, because you also want to now prioritize yourself and your time and your healing journey. And that's why the next step is very important, to find what grounds you. Find what spiritual practices feel in alignment with you, that help you to feel good and help you to feel whole and help you to release the things and the people, and especially the emotions within you that are not in alignment. But when I talk about releasing, it's not just getting rid of them and getting past them. It's what are the techniques and the practices that help you to go into that feeling that is coming up for you, or that emotion that's coming up for you, and understand it and start to heal it. The reason why you find yourself experiencing a lot of sensitivity and being triggered easily and almost like effortlessly is because you got a lot of healing to do. You got quite a bit of trauma that you're carrying. You got deeply ingrained stories and messages that you're carrying that are in no longer in alignment with you and with who you're working towards becoming. Your interpretations, how you interpret and see the world through this translator called the brain, is no longer in alignment, and it is not serving you, it is draining you. Your assumptions, how you move through the world and you assume that because things were that way, they will continue to be that way. All of these things happen unconsciously, by the way. And those stories and the voices that you're carrying in your mind and in your body, you're not aware of, and they're holding you back. Now, those stories, everything that I've just said, it really, here's how I'll put it. You've experienced them time and time and time again, to a point where they're no longer in your conscious mind, and you're not aware of what you're thinking or what's going on inside your think locker, inside your thinking box, the head, the brain. Is that all of these now are the default programs, and you are emotionally responding to the default program that you have unconsciously created from day zero. When you were still in your mother's womb, you started creating the program. You were started to become the program, and now you're becoming aware and conscious of the programming, and you start to recognize how it's not serving you anymore, and you don't want that anymore. You don't need it, and it's all it is doing, it is hurting you, and it feels like torture, it feels like suffering, it feels like the pending doom. And you can find yourself in like this hamster wheel that you just can't get off. And that's actually a normal process of spiritual awakening. And everything that I've shared so far, and I will continue to share, take what you need from it that feels right and in alignment with you, and start taking action on it. Information is simply not going to change your life. It's not going to change very much for you. But action will. And when you feel uncomfortable, do what works and helps you to feel that balance within yourself and calm your nervous system down, and take that action anyways. My goal with everyone that I work with is to help the women to understand the power of fear and discomfort and learn to run into that fire, to save themselves, and to recognize that those things, and also to know the difference, because not all the fears, not all the discomforts that come up are actually you meant to be responding to. Some of them coming up because it's so out of alignment for you, and it takes practice to understand the difference. But for the majority, it's going to be the very thing that brings you to the who you're trying to become, the who that you desire, want, and dreaming of being. Everything that you want, everything that you're trying to be and become is on the other side of fear, on the other side of the things that you are procrastinating on, avoiding doing, self-sabotaging, that you're putting off to do tomorrow, tomorrow. Everything that you want is on the other side of your lack of action. So find those grounding practices, techniques that can help you to stay centered and reduce or remove the emotional overwhelm. Activities like going outside barefoot on the grass, especially especially in the morning with the morning dew, after the rain, and after thunderstorms, especially if there was lightning, because the ground got recharged with lightning. Now you can go and recharge yourself with the ground that is holding the charge of the thunders. Practice deep breathing techniques. Look into them, learn what works for you. So, figuratively speaking, where you've heard this phrase, slow down and smell the roses or the flowers. If you're walking by a field of flowers, you can't really smell them. If you're walking by, like, smelling them like that, you're not really going to smell them. You need to stop or slow down and smell them, which reminds you to breathe in deeply to where your senses are, and then breathe out. And that's where you smell the roses. That's where you smell the flowers. Take it all in. That is something that you can practice. Whenever you feel too much or too sensitive or overwhelmed or overworked or stressed out, you are meant to take those signs that your body is sending you as a reminder to stop, slow down, and breathe. Breathe in deeply into the space where you're feeling that tension, and breathe out. Breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly, calmly and peacefully. Check your body, scan your body. Is it tense? Where is it tense? Are you breathing? How is you breathing? Is it rapid? Is it shallow? Or is it maybe you're holding your breath? Check yourself. See where you are. And do the opposite usually. So if you're not breathing, if you find you catch yourself not breathing, you want to breathe deeply and slowly. If you're tense, you want to release that tension. And what has worked for me and for many of you might also work is when you're feeling the tension in your body, just tense your whole entire body. Just tense it for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then release. And then go into the breath. Breathe in, breathe out slowly. If you're still feeling the tension, do that tensing your whole entire body again and release. Another way of releasing that tension is actually even a healthier way. Do a little bit of exercise. Jumping jacks, just jumping in a spot. Do march on a spot. Maybe even go for a walk if you have the ability. Do push-ups if you can. You want to redirect that stress that you're feeling inside in a healthier way. Exercise is stress to the body, but it's much more healthier stress to the body because it releases endorphins into your body, just to name one thing. And healthy healing hormones into your body. And you want more of that. And you'll find yourself healing. So when you're also, let's say you're meditating, whether you have the ability to do that outside or inside, you can picture you standing straight. The best is always to have your spine straight and your feet on the ground. Whether you're standing or sitting down, it's best to do that, so you can also visualize roots growing from your bottom, from your root chakra or from your feet, and you're literally visualizing yourself grounding yourself and going into the soil. So that's one practice that you can do. And another practice that you can do is be passionate with yourself. Passionate. Yeah, be passionate with yourself and for yourself, but compassion, self-compassion. You want to practice that self-compassion. You want to learn to be kind to yourself, because up until now you might not have been. You might have been carrying a lot of high expectations of yourself and punishing yourself for not doing enough or not being enough. You want to acknowledge and validate your sensitivity as a strength and not as a weakness. It is a strength. Your ability to be sensitive means that you can and you have been applying this strength to everybody else in their life and in their world, and helping them. Practice self-compassion by treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you have been offering to everyone else in your life. Practice what you preach and what you give. You're giving kindness to everyone else. You're giving compassion to everyone else. You're giving patience to everyone else. Give that to yourself. Practice it with yourself every single day. Continue doing that. Engage in activities that also nurture your soul and bring you joy. What are the things that you're passionate about or curious about? What are your hobbies? How do you like to spend time with yourself? If for 1 second, this is one little exercise I love doing with everyone. If you can close your eyes, as long as you're not driving, right? Close your eyes and picture your life. Forget how everything is right now. Picture your life with not having any worries, not having any fears, not having limiting money stories, where you have all the money in the world, you have all the time in the world. What would you do with your time? How would you spend it? What would you be doing? What kind of experiences would you be experiencing? What would you be doing? And then when you open up your eyes and you come back to the real world, you might feel like, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not I don't have the time for that, or it's going to cost this much, it's going to cost that much. But the point of this exercise is for you to start to identify what are those things that are you, that feel in alignment with you, and see how you can already start to fit those things into your current life. Because you can. No one is here saying that you gotta completely get rid of everything and this curiosity or this hobby becomes your whole entire life. No. Start carving out a little bit of time every single day to do that thing that you want to do. Allow yourself that through the self-compassion. So engage in those things that make you feel good. Maybe it's just reading, maybe it's writing, maybe it's painting, maybe it's decluttering and organizing, maybe it's just going for walks, spending time in nature. Whatever it is, do it. You only get to do those things in this lifetime and not any other. And learning to say yes to yourself is a practice. It's not something that is given to you. It's something that you must earn. And you earn it through speaking up, through saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to be doing it, and then doing it. Carving out the space for it and claiming your space because you deserve it, and claiming your time because it's your time. You must earn it, because if you don't earn it, you're not even going to know how to keep it. The life that we talk about, that little glimpse through the window, in order for you to keep and have that life, you must earn it. It is not something that's going to be given to you. No amount of meditation and visualization is going to give you that life. It will help you tremendously, yes, but lack of action is going to say to the universe that you don't actually want it in real life, that you're okay experiencing it in your mind, and let's keep it there. But if you actually want whatever it is that you want, you must take action. And it's not massive action. It's little things that you can do every single day that will help you to get there. So that is all that I have for all of you ladies for today. Let me know what was your biggest takeaway from today's video, from today's podcast, and what are you going to do with this takeaway? What action will you take? Our awareness is powerful. Becoming aware of something is great. But if we don't take action, then it just stays in the energetic space, and then it can be forgotten quite easily as well. And then you might find yourself in the place of remembering, forgetting, or then having this feeling within you that you have forgotten something or many somethings that is very, very important, and you can't remember what it is. And the way that you will remember is by taking action, whatever that action that you're going to take. So thank you, everybody. I saw a couple of ladies hopping on and off. So thank you for being on here. I know you're going to be rewatching it, so let me know the answer to that question and anything else that has come up for you throughout the video. I know you're going to be interacting with it. And I want to welcome all the new members to the group as well. Hello. And if you're watching, listening, say hello as well. I always invite everyone to interact and engage with all the content in the group, and especially all of the live videos, whether you're doing so when you're on the live or you are rewatching the replay. You can engage in the same way as if it was live and respond to the things as you're being invited to respond to the questions. Other than that, until I see you all on either Monday at 1:30 a.m. ish Eastern time, where I do weekly card readings, or next Thursday for another one of these Get Your Shit Together weekly life guidance trainings with myself, Yana Kasperczak, at 11:30 a.m. ish Eastern time. And that's it. Have an amazing the rest of your day and the weekend until we see each other next time. Bye, everybody.